Welcome to this video of ShipIT 365 from idyn. With ShipIT 365, you can book a shipment directly from Business Central to your preferred carrier and print all transport documentation, including the shipping label. For this, we use so-called carrier portals. Now, to explain this, we will use a quick slide where I'll explain how we get to the final goal, which is to be able to start shipping directly from Business Central. We use 4 different types of carrier portals for this purpose. From those, you can choose one or more. We have the carrier portals of nShift, Sendcloud, and EasyPost available. These portals have a direct communication with the carriers. By now, these portals integrate with more than 1,000 carriers altogether. The portals summarize a number of things, including the carriers you use and the service you have purchased from these carriers. We can also upload rates that you pay to the carriers into the carrier portal. For that, we can then arrange so-called routing rules, where we can have things determined automatically. Your users are created in the portal, your printers and possibly your email templates as well. On the other end of the spectrum, there is Business Central. In Business Central, obviously, we have our order flow, sales orders that come in, possibly through the web, or that are entered as back orders. But we have also have orders such as returns to suppliers, customer returns that we receive. We have transfer orders between warehouses and possibly service orders. On all of these orders, you can use ShipIT 365 right away. ShipIT 365 integrates the shipping portal with Business Central. That means that carriers that are activated on the portal are available in Business Central through ShipIT 365. This also means that from Business Central, we can start booking our transportation directly from the order flow. We have visibility into logistics and transport costs, and we can see which transportation services are all available to do our transportation of our sales orders or other orders. We can also book against the so-called cheapest carrier. This ensures that the transportation is always booked with the most cost-effective service providers. But of course, the most important aspect of ShipIT 365 is booking and printing shipping labels and receiving the shipping costs and status information into Business Central. We can extend ShipIT 365 with Tasklet Factory's mobile WMS. This means you can run the full functionality of ShipIT 365 efficiently on a mobile device. If one of the carriers you're looking for is not unlocked on the carrier portals, we can even connect these directly through Connected 365 to make sure that we can address those carriers as well through Business Central. Here we have Business Central with the ShipIT 365 app installed. In the meanwhile, we are logged in as a so-called ShipIT manager. We provide this role along with ShipIT 365. From here, we can manage things like transport orders, as well as set up tasks, such as internal and external mappings and administration. All of our apps come with a setup wizard that guides you through the first steps. If you have questions in the meantime, we also have online help available directly from within the application. In addition, we have some videos available to clarify further on the general functionalities of ShipIT 365. As mentioned earlier, ShipIT 365 works with several carrier portals, and you can choose one or more of them. In this example, we have several portals available, so if we choose a provider, you will see that all the portals are activated in this particular environment. For you, as a user, it would often only be 1 or 2. In this video, we will show the portal for nShift Transsmart. If we look at the setup card, we see here that it asks for the login credentials for the portal. The portal is set up by nShift, and this is where carriers are activated and services are configured, among other things. If we log into the portal and look at Manage Accounts, we see that for the account used in the video, different types of carriers are activated in the portal, such as DHL, UPS, FedEx, and DB Schenker Benelux. At the bottom, we also see the cheapest carrier option. That's a carrier option where nShift Transsmart is going to determine, based on the specifics of your sales order or other document, what the cheapest carrier would be given your contracts, your services, or your rates which you pay to your carriers. Each line on this screen represents a combination of a carrier and a service, such as the UPS standard service from carrier UPS. Such a line is called a booking profile. The booking profile UPS1 is the combination of carrier UPS with a standard service where they also deliver on Saturdays. All of this data is calculated by nShift, but they are directly available in Business Central through ShipIT 365. You can define the so-called package types in the portal, such as the different types of pallet, different boxes with contents and maximum weights. You can create these here, and they are automatically synchronized with Business Central. In the portal, you can also create custom emails with your own logo, branding, and text. You can use these emails too when you book a transport. As a result, the recipient of the shipment will receive an email directly from the transport portal with information such as the tracking number and track and trace link. So not only are shipping labels printed upon booking, but also the recipient is informed directly with all relevant information about the shipment in transit. Next, the type of printer used can be defined here. Business Central does not print the document directly, but it does provide a prompt towards your portal where printing takes place from. The print job is sent directly from the nShift portal to the physical warehouse and then to the printers at your location. Back to Business Central. As soon as we enter our credentials here, in this case at the nShift Transsmart portal, the system connects, and we see that we have a direct connection established now. This means that all the information can be loaded from the portal into Business Central. This can also be done manually with the button Update Master Data. All relevant information is available, such as package types, for example. We have just seen that the nShift Transsmart portal is now synchronized into Business Central. This means that now your account is ready to be used for shipping. Now, to connect the two worlds, the portal and Business Central, we need to configure the so-called mappings. On one side, you have the Business Central world, and on the other side, you have the, in this case, nShift Transsmart world. Now, for the external mappings, we always start by creating so-called shipping agent mappings. As you know, Business Central calls carriers shipping agents, and the services of carriers are called shipping agent services. In the Transsmart world, those are called carriers, and the combination of carriers and services are called booking profiles. These two need to be linked together once so that the users can work with Business Central data, but in the background, the Transsmart nShift data is linked. Let's take a look at an example of a shipping agent mapping. We see here DHL parcel. This is our Business Central data. Our shipping agent DHL with description DHL parcel. And here on the right, it's linked to nShift Transsmart DHL parcel. If we zoom in further, we can see that all the carriers we have activated in our transport portal, with the exception of few, are already linked to a shipping agent in Business Central. On the right side, we see the available services for each carrier, and these also need to be linked together. We do this through the so-called shipping agent service mappings. Again, there are a few examples already in the system. We have linked our shipping agent service EuroPlus to DHL parcel EuroPlus. This is a direct lookup to all booking profiles available for DHL within the Transsmart environment. Next, we can perform currency mappings, where the Transsmart system should understand that our empty field in this case should equal euro. However, for an English customer, this would be the British pound. In addition, we also have the country region mappings. In case you have not always entered the country region of your own country on a customer card, here we can link an empty field to a country. In this case, an empty field in our case equals the Netherlands, and this also applies to language mappings. There is a slight difference between language codes maintained in Business Central and the language codes in the Transsmart environment. More or less, these are already settled upon installation. So, this way we have linked the two worlds together, and ShipIT 365 is ready to go. If we zoom in on the ShipIT 365 menu, we have several settings. Here we see that our transport orders are based on so-called unposted documents. That means that when we create a sales order, we can then immediately manually create a transport order. I will show you that in the first flow. For this, we go to the source documents, sales orders, and we already have a sales order ready to be delivered to a customer. We see here that we have an order to deliver to a customer in Amsterdam on Dam Square tomorrow, October 10th. The shipment is leaving from our location code Castle. This is our headquarters and is also located in the Netherlands. We see that based on the low order volume, the service charge has been automatically assigned. This is charged to the customer for an additional cost of €5, as has been set up in Business Central. In addition, we see that we are working with the default shipping unit, which is our box. However, we can change this to another format if needed. This is not mandatory, but it allows us to ask the system what are the best shipping options given for this particular shipment. So we are going to ship from our location to Castle to a customer in Amsterdam on Dam Square. The shipment should be there tomorrow, and we have entered the dimensions of the box. We can now see what carriers with associated services are available and what the cost would be for this shipment. This is an optional step, which is not mandatory. We have altered the setup in a way that the transportation charges will be passed on to the customer. The selected option is added to the service charge so that the transportation cost is fully charged. Here we run the carrier selection function and the system shows all available options to arrange this shipment, and we see that the cheapest option is with DHL parcels for €5.20. They're going to pick it up today and the package will be delivered to the customer by 5 p.m. tomorrow. There is also a DHL Express service for €10.20, which is €5 more expensive than the first option. This is an express service that delivers the shipment before 11 a.m. in the morning. So if speed is important to the customer, we can select this service. When we select this other option, the transportation costs will increase and the default fields in Business Central will adjust based on your choice. For example, if you want, you can manually adjust this to a pallet. We know that shipping a pallet is more expensive than a box, and if you would run the service again, we will see other costs and options. The cheapest option is now not €5.20 but €32. We can select it as the most convenient option. Then the customer is charged for a higher amount. However, we assume in this demo that we can deliver this package with a box, so we adjust it back and select the cheapest, the Euro Plus service. We confirm our choice and click OK. Our sales order is now ready, and from here we can generate a transport order. The transport order is the most important document in ShipIT 365. Transport order 1469 has been created, and we see on the left side that an order has been created with reference to our sales order number. We're going to ship it through the Transsmart platform with DHL using the Euro Plus service. That the package will be picked up by the carrier on October 9th and delivered to the customer on October 10th. We can see the physical route on the map from the castle, our headquarters, to Amsterdam, where we will deliver. Again, there is the possibility to perform the carrier select function. To possibly select another carrier and service, this could also be done manually through the fields Shipping Agents and Shipping Agent Service. The source line section displays on what data this document was created. In this case, it is a sales header where we are delivering t-shirts to a customer. We have entered a sales order in which the default package size is a box. If this changes later in the process, we can select a different packaging unit there. Then the delivery note information. We can not only send shipping information to the carrier through the platform, in this case Transsmart, but we can also provide them with detailed information about what we are going to ship. This is used particularly for customs. In addition to the general data, we can send along country of origin, HS code, value of the product, all for customs purposes. Then the pickup address. All this information comes from Business Central's default location code, Kasseldüssel. Business Central still beckons with a combined field, address, street name, and house number. We split this information to then provide it in separate fields. The delivery address comes directly from the order sent to one of the customers in Amsterdam. Of course, this can be adjusted manually. If multiple addresses are defined on the card and the customer requests a delivery to a different location, this can easily be adjusted by selecting other fixed locations assigned to the customer. The invoice data section provides the ability to print invoice data, including pro forma invoice or commercial invoice, in addition to the shipping label. For this, invoice information is obviously required. This is one of the services offered by Transsmart, especially for exporting shipments outside of the European Union. We also have the additional reference section. This allows you to include additional information, and these fields are often used when there are specific agreements between the ShipIT user and the carrier to send along additional data to facilitate a particular process. These fields can be entered manually, or you can arrange for this data to be entered automatically when generating the transport order. When we later book shipments, this information is also sent directly to the carrier. All totals are actually based on the master data. We didn't have to do anything extra. When a sales order is created, the transportation costs are charged, and then the transport order is created. Now we can proceed with booking this transport order and printing the shipping label. When we book, the information is sent through the platform, Transsmart, to the carrier, who confirms the shipment with all kinds of information in return. If we go for the book and print option, not only do we book the shipment, but also all the documentation associated is printed directly, including the shipping label. So when you decide to book, we book the shipments with DHL and the label is printed directly through our printer, which we can also display on the screen. Here we see our shipping label. Normally it just comes out of the printer. This is specifically set up for demonstration purposes. We also see that we have received a track and trace number from DHL. If we go back to the sales order, we see that the fact box has also been updated with the shipment number, order status, and track and trace information. There is another small shipping and billing section that contains the shipping and billing information with the same information regarding the shipment, tracking number, and URL. If we go back to the transport order, we can see this specific information. Transport order 1469 is also known now in Transsmart, and we consult it there. For this, we go to the section Manage Shipments. We see here that our order 1469 has been registered and the label has been printed. We can open this, but we actually see the very same information that we did in Business Central. So from a user level, it's not interesting to review it here, as all of this information is also available real-time in BC. Now we still have some flexibility around this transport order. If something goes wrong, for example, if the shipment is damaged and cannot be shipped, then of course DHL must be informed that the shipment cannot be picked up and must be cancelled. We can also do this directly through Business Central by using the recall function. At this point, we're going to inform DHL that the shipment should be cancelled. If we then look up the shipment in the Transsmart portal, we can see that the status has been updated and indicates that the shipment has been cancelled, so DHL will not pick it up. If the problem is resolved, we can reset the transport order possibly run carrier select again, possibly select the same or a different carrier, and then rebook and print. This leads to a new shipping label that can be fixed to the box. Shipment has been sent to DHL, and we can proceed with our new shipping label. There is another feature called Synchronize. This allows us to track the statuses of these shipments but you can also run a job queue that processes the statuses of all orders at certain times. The carriers provide status updates to Transsmart several times a day, such as when they have been picked up, when they have taken it to the transshipment location, all the way through to the actual delivery at the customer. And then here we see the status updates. We can do that per order individually with synchronize, but we can also have them updated with the job queue. Another flow is to create the transport orders through the integration with Tasklet Factory's mobile WMS system, also known as the Pack and Ship module. What we previously did in Business Central, we can now also do from a mobile device. Here we have Tasklet Factory's mobile WMS solution with a separate button called Pack and Ship, and that's the integration with ShipIT 365. So what we did before, we can do on mobile. We will go back to Business Central, and here we have an order ready for further actioning. In this order, we're going to deliver from another location, the WMS location, managed using Business Central's WMS module in conjunction with Tasklet Factory. The steps we normally take in this process is that we're going to release an order and then create a warehouse shipment document in Business Central. Based on the warehouse shipment document, we can create a pick, which is when Tasklet takes over on the mobile device. We have created an action called pick 984. If we now go to the Tasklet application to see what pick orders are ready, we see that order 984 is ready to be picked up at the warehouse for shipping. The employee opens the order, scans the location where the goods are to be picked up, then he scans the barcodes of the goods. In this case, we enter them manually. The order quantity in this example is 1. We confirm this, and we can optionally still set it to be taken to a different packing station, but this is optional. Also optional, he can scan the barcode of the location, and then the picking is confirmed. Now the order is ready in the so-called Pack and Ship module. When we open it, we see the details of the order to be shipped, as well as the service options that apply to the order, in this case with DHL Europlus. If necessary, we can modify these. We open the order, we see our license plate information here, and when we open this, here we can select the type of packaging for shipment. We have set that box is the default, but of course the other options are available. We confirm. We have also set that when the warehouse clerk selects a box, that he also needs to register the weight, in this case 2 kilograms. Once this is done, the order can be confirmed, and the user gets a green light to use the Post button to continue. The label is then printed. In the background in Business Central, in the meanwhile, a number of steps have been fully automated. Shipment is booked, a transport order has been created in the background, and this transport order is sent to the platform. The carrier accepts the order, generates a label, and all other documents, and if we look inside Business Central and renew the document, this is our warehouse shipment. So this document is now booked and no longer exists. We get an error message because of this. Then we're going to look at the sales order to see what happened. Then we see that in the background the transport order has been created with order number 470, and the label has been printed with all the relevant track and trace information. When we open the transport order, we see all the corresponding details. Interaction with the user has actually been nothing but the Post button. Based on that, everything has been generated and booked. Just a few more things to mention. Transport orders can be created based on documents, but you can also create transport orders manually if necessary. For example, when the marketing department sends goods or samples to your customers, even if there are no transactions or documents in Business Central, they can manually create a transport order and book the shipment through the system to the carrier and print the label. We also discussed printing documents from Transsmart protocols. We covered various documents, including the label, but also other documents such as printing a CMR, commercial invoice, pro forma invoice, or any other document such as a generic label, and so on. We can configure the behavior of 365 easily. In this case, we showed it from an unposted document. From the sales order, we manually booked a transport order, and we showed you the workflow with Tasklet. If you don't use Tasklet, but still want to automatically create transport orders, you can change the settings from unposted documents to posted documents. In the next field, you can specify what should happen when a sales order is booked. You can book the sales order directly by posting the sales shipments in the sales order. Or you can book the sales order by creating a warehouse shipment first and book that warehouse shipment later. The end result is the same, and we thereby book the sales order. The moment we choose posted documents, we can set that when a sales order is booked, a transport order is automatically created, or create and booked, or create, book, and printed. Those are the possibilities that we support. So depending on the workflow, you can configure when, during the process, the transport order should be created so that it fits into your logistics flow. It is also possible to book and print transport orders directly from the overview of the transport orders. If we look at these transport orders, here we see 3 new transport orders that can be opened and handled. But we can also just select them and book them directly to the carrier, or book and print them from here so that they're also printed directly. Thank you for watching this ShipIT 365 demo. For more information on ShipIT 365 and our carrier platforms, visit our website www.idyn.nl or contact sales@idyn.nl.